Good day, everyone, especially to our instructors, Ma'am Faye Manigos. So, our topic for today is all about Kant's deontological and the duty framework. So, this is the picture of Immanuel Kant. Kant's theological ethics. Kant's ethic is now referred to as deontological. The term deontological has its root from the Greek word deon, which means duty. Hence, deontological ethics focuses on duty, obligations, and rights instead of consequences or ends. So, Kant said that duty, obligation, and rights. So, magbuhat ang mga maayo no, sa atong isikataw is buhat ta tungod kay mutabang ta nga kusang loob na tong mutabang. Di kay mutabang ta nga naikapalit. Mutabang ta kay will na to. Dili kay mutabang ta kay para palusan pud ta. The duty-based approach, sometimes called deontological ethics, argued that doing what is right is not about the consequences of our actions, something over which we ultimately have no control but having the proper intention in performing the action. So, unsa may proper intention in performing the action? So, mutabang ta no? Mutabang ta kay ganahan ta mutabang. The ethical action is one taken from duty that is done precisely because it is our obligation to perform the action. Ethical obligations are the same for all rational creatures. They are universal, and knowledge of what these obligations entail and arrive at by discovering rules of behavior that are not contracted by reason. Kant's famous formula for discovering our ethical duty is known as the categorical imperative. It has a number of different versions, but Kant believed they all amounted to the imperative. Kant proposed is a universal ethical principle that guides moral actions based on a reason and universal laws. It emphasizes treating others with respect and dignity, focusing on the intention behind actions rather than outcomes. Kant contrasts it with hypothetical imperatives which are based on the personal desires. Categorical imperative promotes ethical behavior that is consistent with rationality and universal. The most basic form of the imperative is act only according to that maxim by which you can at the same time that it should become a universal law. So for example, lying is an unethical because we could not universalize a maxim that said one should always lie. So limbawa ani, kung mag-isip ang universal law, so killing, no? Ang kanang killing, bawal mo dito ang patay. However, universalize the maxim, always speak truthfully without running into a logical contradiction. For Kant, choosing to obey the universal moral law is very nature of acting ethically. So si Kant no, ang panjud ni Kant is unsay tinuod no, dapat obey jud nimo unsa ang universal law. Halimbawa na is kanang kuan, kita maglabay basura. Bisan pag dili na to na wala na siya gi-indicate sa isa ka lugar, kabalo na makang bawal. So mo jud ang buhaton. Kaya ginadili man na. So anong buhaton pa man nimo, bawal man di ay. Dapat gamitan na itong common sense sa to, no? Sabi na sa mga estudyante. Sabi kay walay nakabutang da, dili na ta magpupuyag. Gamiton na to itong common sense, no? Kung kaning atong buhaton is makaayo ba or makadaot sa tuwa kung sa ubang tao. The duty-based approach can be applied as a framework for ethical decision making. In the duty framework, we can focus on the duties or obligation that we have in a given situation and consider what ethical obligations we have and what things we should never do. So mo to kung ingon gini ano, unsay isip no usa ka tawo sin pagurog butang tag wala ka mag-eskwela. Dili mo magpasabot og wala ka mag-eskwela is wala ka kabalog unsay mga dinadilion. Unsay angay buhaton. So kabalo makang bawal na dili na kakinahanglan nga istoryahan pa og tarong ka nga pagkatao. Kaya namatay common sense. Makasense naman ta og kana. Ug sa tong nauna pa lang daan ba, makasense naman ta daan mo dog. Unsay outcome ana atong buhaton, makatabang man sa tuwa, makabenepisyo ba ta na or makadaot sa tuwa. This framework has the advantage of creating a system of rules that has consistent expectations of all people. If an action is ethically correct or duty is required, it would apply to everyday person in a given situation. This framework also focuses on following moral rules or duty regardless of outcome. So it allows for the possibility that one might have act ethically even if there is a bad result. So one of the example of this is mutabang ka pero imong pagtabang is makadaot no. Halimbawa ani is naay gigutom. Iyon, wa ka kabalo nga ang katong gigutom na si sakit. Ethically nakatabang ka sa iyaha. Okay, nakapakaon mo siya. But sad to say, ang resulta is bad. Kaya katong batang imong gitabangan is naday sakit niya, ang imong nahatag nga pagkaon is bawal sa iyaha. So mga yung example dali no. Hintabang ka pero resulta kay nagkasakit or namatay siya. Kay wa ka kabalo nga ang imong gihatag nga pagkaon is bawal sa iyaha. However, this framework also has its own limitations. It can appear crude and impersonal in that it might require action which are known to produce harms, even though they are strictly in keeping with a particular moral rule. It also does not provide a way to determine which duty we should follow if we are presented with a situation in which two or more duties conflict. It can also be rigid in applying the notion of duty to everyone regardless of personal situation. So that is my report. And that's all.
According to Kant, the universal principle of right is that an action is right if it can coexist with everyone's freedom in accordance with a universal law, or if on its maxim the freedom of choice of its can coexist with everyone's freedom in accordance with a universal law. So Kant's universal states that an action is right if it is coexist with everyone's freedom under the universal law, or if everyone individual freedom of choice coexists with everyone's freedom. Legally and morally right. So it appears that in Kant, what is legal must be the same time moral. An action is legally right if it is the same time in accordance with universal law that is in accordance with categorical imperity. So Kant's that legal action must be moral as the most aligned with universal law and a categorical imperative. Godwill. Kant says nothing can possibly be conceived with a word, even out of its which can be called God without qualifications except a God will. Kant's criteria of remove of what is right or wrong is God. So Kant possessed that God is only concept, that we consider God without qualification, serving a basis of determining right or wrong. So categorical imperative. To serve the So nasa ang categorical imperative, nasa ito versions of categorical imperative. So first version states, I never to act other than so that I could will that my maxim should become universal. So the second version is as follows. Always treat humanity, whether in your own person or that of another. Never simply a means but always at the same time as an end. So Kant's category imperative consists of two versions. One stating the act only to make maxim a universal law, and the second arguing to treat humanity as an end. Out implies can. So this means that if and only if we can or are free to act in certain ways, we can commanded to do so. This is one more moral principle ascribed to Kant, derived from the two passages in his work. So one stated as a follows, for if the moral law commands that we ought to be better human being now, it is capably so one states as follows, for if the moral law commands that we ought to be better human beings, it is capably follows that we must be capable of being better human beings now. So Kant's moral principle also implies Kant states states that if we can act in the certain ways, we are commanded to do so, as started in the top passage of his work. So another one states as follows. The action to be with all applies must be indeed possible under natural conditions. So Joseph Flincher used this maxim several times to illustrate the situationism. In Fletcher's term, you are obliged to do only what you can where you are. Parmenides says that stuff of freedom is energy or strength. It follows that the degree of one's obligation is also degree of one's freedom. So Joseph Fletcher illustrates situationism, stating that one is obliged to do what they can where they are. So Hormedo suggests that the degree of one obligation is also their freedom. So Monagi suggests ni Hormedo ni Joseph Fletcher. So that's all of my report. So thank you.